Hello students, today we are going to start another topic of chapter Wave Optics. Objective of today's topic is to study about coherent sources and interference of light. The topics which we are going to discuss are coherent sources, method of producing coherent sources and interference of light. Now what is coherent sources? Coherent sources of light are those sources of light which emit light waves of same wavelength, same frequency and in same phase or having constant phase difference. So in this figure I am going to just show you what are coherent sources. Like all the waves are traveling in same direction with same wavelength, same amplitude. But if I talk about another light, that is LED light, you can say every wave is traveling with different wavelength, different frequency. So these are called incoherent sources. Incoherent sources of light are those sources of light which do not emit light waves of same wavelength, same frequency. And what are the methods to obtain coherent sources? Because no two sources can be considered as coherent sources because they must have some different frequency as the sources are different. So to obtain a coherent sources, we are having two methods. Number one, by division of wavefront, and number two, by division of amplitude. Now coherent sources can be produced by two methods. The very first method is by division of wavelength, which is used by Young's double slit experiment, Fresnel biprism and Lloyd's mirror. And second is by division of amplitude, which is also referred as partial reflection or refraction. Now here we are going to discuss about the division of wavefront. In this figure you can see we are having a single light source. We are having a slit from which we get a wavefront. Now there are two more slits over there from where two different wavefronts can be obtained. Number one and number two. These two slits are going to act as a coherent sources. Now the superposition principle. The superposition principle states that when two or more waves overlap in space, the resultant disturbance is equal to the algebraic sum of the individual disturbances. Let us see with an example. Here the very first one, this wave is y1, second wave is y2, and when these two waves are going to overlap on each other, we are getting another wave, a single wave, which is sum of amplitudes of these two waves. So in this way, superposition principle tells us how energy is going to be distributed. So on the basis of superposition principle, we have very important phenomena, that is interference of wave. So what is interference of wave? Firstly we will consider these two diagrams, the very first wave and wave number 2. Students, just observe that this part is called crest and this is trough. Similarly, this is also crest of wave 1 and this is crest of wave 2. When crest of wave 1 overlaps crest of wave 2, we get an increased amplitude of crest only, and when trough matches with the trough, we will have a trough with a greater amplitude. So this is called constructive interference because the name suggests that there is a construction of the wave, right? On the another hand, if you will see crest of one wave overlap trough of another wave, we are not having any wave because these two amplitude, this is in plus and this amplitude is minus. So plus minus cancels out each other and we are not getting any wave. This is called destructive interference. So what is the reason behind it, why it happens, and what is the application of this interference of wave? Let us discuss about that thing. So interference of wave. So the phenomena of one wave interfering with another wave and the resultant redistribution of energy in the space around two sources of disturbance is called interference of wave. There are two ways in which the waves are going to be interfere. The very first way is constructive interference and second is destructive interference. So in constructive interference, red one is the wave 1, purple is second wave. They are going to overlap and we are getting a resultant, a green wave. So here as the crest is overlapping over crest and trough is overlapping over trough, So we are having a wave of greater amplitude, right? Whereas in case of destructive interference, as the crest of one wave is overlapping on the trough of another wave, so we are having a resultant of the wave which is smaller in amplitude, because amplitude is equal to E1 minus E2, amplitude of first wave minus amplitude of second wave. So these two are the ways in which waves are going to be interfere. So in this diagram, this blue color shows you crest, orange trough. So what is happening over there? When crest is overlapping over crest or trough is overlapping on trough, we are going to get a bright band, right? A brighter light band. On the other hand, when crest is overlapping on trough or trough is overlapping on crest, we are going to get a dark band. So alternating, we are going to get a sequence of bright, dark bands, right? So this is happening over there, and on the screen ultimately we will get alternatively dark and bright bands. So what is the theory of interference of waves? The wave equation is equal to E1 is equal to A sine omega t, where E1 is the displacement of the wave and A is the amplitude. Similarly, E2 is equal to B sine omega t plus phi, where phi is phase difference. So the waves are with same speed, wavelength, frequency, time period, nearly equal amplitudes, traveling in the same direction with constant phase difference of phi. So here this phi is the constant phase difference. That's why these two waves are going to produce interference pattern. The pattern we are getting on the screen here, this pattern is called interference pattern. So this is screen with one pinhole, screen 2 with two pinholes. These two pinholes are going to act as coherent sources, and we are getting alternatively bright and dark fringes. These are called fringes. These bands are called fringes. So what is phase difference? The phase difference is the difference in the phase angle of two waves, whereas path difference is the difference in the path traveled by two waves. Let us see another example. Here, this blue is one wave and red is another wave. At t is equal to 0, at this point, blue wave displacement is 0 because blue is at 0. Whereas red wave's displacement is minus a because it is in negative y-axis. So they are traveling along x-axis. This is pi by 2. This is pi and this is 2 pi. So this point to this point we are having a complete wave of wavelength lambda. So this is lambda by 4, this is lambda by 2, this is 3 lambda by 2 and this is lambda. Okay, on the other hand, at pi by 2, the blue wave has maximum displacement. At pi by 2, blue wave is at maximum displacement plus a, where red wave is equal to 0. So red wave is at x-axis, its displacement is 0. It means that blue wave is leading by phase difference of pi by 2 and path difference of lambda by 4. This angle is called phase difference, and this length difference in the wavelength you can say is the path difference. So one oscillation is completed in 2 pi radians, which is equivalent to lambda. So path difference of one wave is lambda is equal to phase difference of 2 pi radians. So why we have discussed this part? Because we should know about what are the conditions for constructive interference of waves and what are the conditions for destructive interference of waves. For constructive interference, I should be maximum, which is possible only if cos phi is equal to plus 1. Means intensity should be maximum. I is the intensity, means amount of light should be maximum. So cos phi got plus 1 value only if phi is equal to 2 and pi. This you have read in your mathematics, where n is equal to 0, 1, 2 and 3. So therefore corresponding path difference, this triangle delta is called path difference is equal to n lambda. Okay. So this is a case where we are having maximum intensity, and maximum intensity is equal to sum of amplitudes of two waves whole square. Now for destructive interference, the intensity should be minimum, means cos phi should have a minimum value, and we know that its minimum value is -1. And this happens only if phi is equal to 2n plus 1 pi, where n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, so on. So corresponding path difference will become 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. Now here intensity is A minus B whole square. So it is I minimum is means difference in the amplitudes of two waves. So these two are the conditions for constructive and destructive interference, and you should learn these two values when we got a constructive interference and when we got a destructive interference. Now we are going to compare the intensities of maxima and minima. Maxima means where you are having a constructive interference, and minima means where you are getting a destructive interference. As we know that maximum intensity is equal to sum of amplitudes whole square, and minimum intensity is difference in the amplitudes whole square. Now we are going to take ratios I maximum upon I minimum. It is equal to in this form. Now relation between intensity, amplitude and width of the slit. So as intensity is directly proportional to amplitude square, but amplitude is directly proportional to square root of width of this slit, from where we are getting the light sources, coherent light sources. So I1 divided by I2 is equal to A1 square divided by A2 square is equal to W1 divided by W2. Now let's see some questions related to the topic we have discussed. The very first question is, what are the coherent sources? Give example. What are incoherent sources? Give examples. Question number 3, how can the coherent source of light be produced? Question number 4, how can the incoherent sources of light be produced? Name the method used to produce the coherent sources by division of wavefront. Next question is, what is interference of light waves? Discuss the types of interference. What is the meaning of words in phase or out of phase? What is the superposition principle? And the last question is, what is the magnitude of the resultant magnitude of waves? That's the end of the topic. Thank you.